FPL Game Week 1 final team selection, guys. I am excited. In this video I'm going to be taking you through my final team selection of my team that has no Haaland, no Salah. Am I scared? Hell yeah, but I'll give you a reason as to why I'm doing that, as well as my chip strategy and tip from the FPL Force on chips as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here's a stat for you guys. Over 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now let's make a deal. It's in the next few minutes. If you guys get the value that you're looking for from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It would honestly make a huge difference in helping me and my one-man team bringing you guys more content throughout the season. So sounds like a deal? Let's get into it. All right, guys, let's get into it. So chip strategy, is it important, and how should we use our chips as well, guys? I thought this would actually be the best time to actually get the wisdom from the FPL Force on how about to use our chips. So let's hear from the FPL Force itself.
Silence as the FPL Force brings wisdom. The chips are not toys, they are weapons. Use them not with emotion, but with precision. For the bench boost, plan 2-3 weeks ahead. Use your bench boost when your squad is ready, not when you're excited. The triple captain. Don't waste this chip on a single fixture unless it's the perfect storm of form, fixture, and ownership. The Wildcard is not a panic button. It's a tactical redevelopment. Use it to build structure, not chase points. The free hit. Don't burn it early. Save it for when your squad is compromised and others are scrambling. The chips are your arsenal, but timing is your mastery. The Force does not waste power, it unleashes it when the stars are aligned. To learn more from the FPL Force, one must subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on socials. May the green arrows be with you.
Well, guys, there you go. The FPL Force said it itself. So my chip strategy so far right now, as you know, I'm playing bench boost game week 1. I am planning to wildcard in game week 13 when the fixtures are turning for the big 6 teams, most of the big 6 teams, and then I am looking to free hit actually in game week 19 when there's some really good fixtures there. I'm looking to use the free hit more so when there are good fixtures from the big 6, and then I can actually put a good very first starting 11 together rather than trying to avoid the clashes between the big six teams like game week 3 where Arsenal's playing Liverpool and most people are looking to play it. I just feel like it's a waste because I can play it in a time when I know Arsenal and Liverpool are playing promoted sides, and then I can pick players from there as well. So lastly, so I'm playing bench boost. I mentioned bench boost, I mentioned wildcard, I mentioned triple captain. Oh, triple captain, of course, it's I'm gonna be looking for that perfect storm of form and fixture really. So whichever player is showing form and they got a great fixture, I'm gonna put it on them. I'm not necessarily gonna say Haaland game week 6, that's it. I am looking at those type of game weeks, but yeah, that is it for me when it comes to the chip strategy basically. But remember, this season our chips are we've got double chips basically. So from game week 1 to 19 we have these 4 sets of chips, and then after game week 19 we're going to be given another set of chips like this, and in the first set we cannot carry them over, so you have to use all 4 of these chips by game week 19. Otherwise you basically lose them and it's pointless. So remember that is very important. Right, let's go on to the big reveal, which is my team selection. So I'm not going to waste your guys' time at all with this. On my team selection that has no Haaland, no Salah, in goals I'm going to start off with Sals, Porro and Tarkowski, with 8 Nori in the defense playing a 3-4-3, Mamouche in the midfield with Saka, Wirtz and Kudus, and then in the front line I'm going to play João Pedro, Bowen and Watkins. On the bench, which I am bench boosting, I will have a Vicario against Brentford, Anderson versus Vicario versus Burnley, Anderson versus Brentford, Diouf versus Sunderland, and Neco Williams against Brentford as well. So I think that's a pretty good bench boost. Why have I decided to go against Salah and Haaland this specific starting my season off like this? I think starting on with Salah, for me, everybody's gone with him of course because he's Salah, and I don't want to just go against him for the sake of it, but I just feel like there's always a time to go against Salah, and that's when he has tough fixtures, and game week 2 and game week 3 are tough fixtures for him. Game week 1 is a very good fixture for him of course, but I just feel like if those 2 fixtures were reversed, if those 3 fixtures were reversed where he had the first 2 fixtures very tough, we might see a lot more Haaland drafts than actual Salah drafts, or we might actually see an even amount. So I'm actually looking to capitalize on that, and I feel like this is the time to actually go against him. So it's really about finding a good game week 1 captaincy and then getting the best captaincies to go against them in game week 2 and 3, and that's really where the strategy lies. In terms of not including Haaland, it really just, because I wanted to play my bench boost, it really helped me to spread the funds. But what I've also done is with this team, which I shared earlier in the weeks, how I'm gonna basically maneuver to Haaland for game week 6. I won't maneuver to Salah for game week, I think it's 4, when he plays Burnley. I'm very happy to captain the Wirtz there. So in terms of captaincy, I do also have a plan. This game week I am looking at Jared Bowen. I've definitely considered Wirtz and as well as Mamouche. More so Bowen 1, Mamouche 2 and then Wirtz 3. But I just think it is going to be tough for Bowen, of course, because he's playing a Sunderland who's starting at home, the Premier League, the crowd's going to be big, whatever. But in terms of goal involvement, I know that Bowen soaks up about like 50% of that goal involvement when it comes to West Ham. So I'm not saying he's Haaland, but just like Haaland, where when the team scores 2 goals, he's definitely involved in at least one of those goals. So am I expecting a lot of goals there? I actually am. Because it's Sunderland. They didn't have the best defense, and yes, they've signed up a whole lot of players, but I'm somewhat betting that they're not necessarily going to gel well for the start of the season. So I'm looking and really hoping that Bowen can get an assist and a goal there as well, with some bonus points as well. And then again, like I said, I'm got a plan for each game week. So game week 2, of course, it's going to be Saka against Leeds. Game week 3, I will downgrade a Saka to a Bruno, or depending on who's in form. If Šeško is in form, then I'll move from a Bowen to a Šeško, or João Pedro to a Šeško again, based on form there. So basically my point is I've got the price point in my team, I can make the moves. And then game week 4, of course, I've got Liverpool versus Burnley, so we'll move there to captaincy, we'll move there to Wirtz, who I'm very happy with on set pieces and so on. Game week 5, I can't remember who's got a good fixture, but game week 6 is where I am going to be bringing in Haaland and then captaining him. And I say that because I am looking to triple captain him there. Like I said, it has to be a great storm of form, fixtures, and ownership. And if his ownership is still where it is compared to Salah, and he's been in form, and yeah, then I'm definitely going there. I'm definitely going there. I think people probably would have captained Salah, maybe triple captain Salah on the Burnley game. So that's really where the thought is. Yeah, that's really where the thought is. In terms of fixtures, I am leaning more towards a Haaland actually than a Salah again because of the fixtures. I think Liverpool after game weeks 3 have 2 nice fixtures, but like in terms of City, who I have a piece of as well, you can see in the defense and the midfield, I'm very happy to have Marmoush to not cover me, but have a piece of the attack when it comes to Man City, as well as Aid Nori to have defensive a piece of the defense there as well. So yeah, I mean, I think on the other hand, I wanted to play the bench boost, but I then thought, I was like, oh wow, if your captaincy game week 1 doesn't work, at least you probably got your bench boost to somewhat bail you out if there's a huge variance. So I am hoping that my bench boost as well does really help me and cover me there. In terms of who's locked, everybody's locked. Everybody is locked in this team. I have overthought so many things, Anderson versus Reinders and like my team and moves and how I'm going to move. Basically the way I'm going to manage the team, this team is perfect, in terms of like I've got plans to bring in Palace players in game week 4 and how I'm going to do it. I've got plans to bring in Bruno when they play Burnley or a Man United asset. I've got plans to bring in Haaland, or maybe even more City assets when it's, game week 6. Like the way this team is and the way I've planned and mapped things out, it's really flexible in terms of strategy and how I can do things and play things. So that's why a lot of them are locked. And I think it's more so locked in sense of price points. I think, when it comes to the Saka versus Palmer, because that's a lot of the questions a lot of people are thinking of. If I was to go with Palmer, it wouldn't necessarily be a shield, but as much as I'm an Arsenal fan and I want skin in the game for my Arsenal team, and that's why I've really gone with Saka. The other reason for me is I just feel like Crystal Palace first game for Chelsea is not necessarily easy. I really don't think so. I think Crystal Palace is a very good side. They've proven this not just in the Community Shield. I think they've proven it in the FA Cup and even in the league in itself, So I think Chelsea are going to have a tough game there. I'm not looking at a high scoring game, and hoping João Pedro could really cover me because he's really become the focal point there. That being said, I feel if we look at it with that in mind, Crystal Palace being a tough game, Man United should be an easier game for Arsenal. So if you're looking at Palmer and Saka and you're like, cool, who's got an easier game? I'm going like, well, Saka's actually got an easier game. 2, Saka's actually more up front involved. He's not necessarily collecting the ball deep. He's almost like the pass before the goal. So he's like the assist, or sometimes he is actually the goal scorer, the running into the box. So I just feel like he's going to be more effective there. And then also he's my captaincy option in game week 2. So I'm like, that's the other thing. Am I going to captain Palmer in game week 1 against Crystal Palace? No, I'm not. Number 2, am I going to captain him in game week 2? I'm like, no, I'm not. Am I going to captain him in 3? No, I'm not. Maybe in 4. I can't remember what game week 4 fixtures are. But game week 5, I'm not captaining him. Game week 6, I'm not captaining. So I'm like, well, dude, then I don't need Palmer, And that's not to say Palmer's useless, don't go for him, whatever. But again, guys, remember, that's me. That's my strategy, And this is what a lot of us content creators always say. It's like, don't go just like, oh, Cat's got Saka over Palmer. I'm gonna go for Palmer. Why has Cat got Saka over Palmer? What's Cat's strategy? Then what's your strategy? Because the moment Saka blanks and Palmer hits, I'm still like steady Eddie. Like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm keeping Saka. Whereas you like, I hate this. I'm jumping to Palmer. And you don't even have a strategy, and the next thing you know, Cat's continuing with his strategy. Game week 2, Captain Saka hits a hits a hat trick, and then you like, why did I? And you're like, so have a strategy, have your reasons. Don't just go copying people's teams or content creators' teams. Understand why they're making their decisions, rather than jumping to just go like, you know, Palmer's better. He is better. It's not to say he's not whatever, like he's not better, but yeah, you know what I mean. He's a good option. So yeah, that's my team. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else really to go through here. So I have the ultimate draft video for you over here if you're considering the top 4 types of drafts, and then also I've got videos for you as well over here in terms of who the best striker is. You can also go through the best defense and so on. So basically covered you guys if you just go through all those videos. But good luck for game week 1. Have your teams locked in, your strategy locked in, everything, and remember the league code is at the bottom in the description and also on the headline running down here below. So join the league and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.